Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, creepy people.
Hello.
This is PNW Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, the paranormal, and all things super weird, creepy, and spooky in the Pacific Northwest.
I think we PNW'd twice there.
What do you mean?
You said, I'm pretty sure that you said Pacific Northwest twice in that same sentence.
I did?
I think so.
I don't.
I could be wrong.
Let me go through it again.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Let me go through the script in my head again and just see what it feels like.
Okay.
This is PNW Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, the paranormal, and all things weird and creepy and cool in the Pacific Northwest. I feel like I said it the same. I just interchanged.
Okay. Maybe. I might be crazy.
Weird and creepy and something else. But what is the Pacific Northwest, Caitlin?
It's the PNW, if you're nasty.
So nasty.
And we know that you are.
We might be getting nasty in this episode.
Ooh.
Maybe a little. Maybe it's a little murky because, spoiler alert, I might have stepped on Caitlin's toes a little bit without asking.
Ooh.
I forgot to ask because it's not murdery.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's pretty free reign.
Yeah.
You've talked about cases that were murder adjacent before.
I know. I usually always ask you, though. I'm like, hey, just by the way.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so I spoiled the topic of this.
That's true. For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
Myself included.
Which is fine. I just,
it's
once in a while.
You guys, this is fine.
Once in a while, I give things away on accident. But it's always on purpose. And so Caitlin heard the topic and she looked it up apparently and was like, oh,
sure did.
This has like a true crime element to it. Like, would it be stepping on your toes if I like looked into this? And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I literally wrote an episode on it already. I added all the crime, unless you feel free to research it after me. And
okay.
And if you dig anything out, you can do that.
Dig anything out of its butt?
Out of its tunnels.
Ooh. It's butt tunnels?
Yeah.
I'm really on butts right now.
Are you?
Yeah. I've been listening to a show that talks about butts a lot. Not in relation to the show and its content. They just really like to talk about butts. It's totally aside from their core content.
Butts are funny. Juicy.
Yeah.
Big fat juicy.
Yeah, they talk about booty clapping. It's great. I'm enjoying it.
It just, booty clapping reminds me of just like when you're just jiggly and naked and wiggling yourself around and then all your fat rolls slap against each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think, is that not what everyone pictures?
I hope so.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10ish pod. Also listeners of our pod. I'm making that up. That's a thing that they say all the time on their show.
Oh.
They'll say like Benjamin Franklin, listener of the pod.
Oh, right.
About their and I love it. I love it. So I just wanted to co-opt one more thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're stealing everything.
Yeah. Well, ever since I've realized that I actually don't have a personality, I just have a, brain disorder. I've just realized that, I'm never going to have an original idea or be interesting. So I just take whatever looks good and cycle the shit out of that.
I am so interested by you, Caitlin. I'm looking at the camera right now, but I'm talking about you. I'm so interested in what you have to say. I hope you're interested in me.
I am.
Because I talk a lot.
I mean, it's kind of a problem for both. I mean, if you have a podcast, is that really a problem? Talking a lot? Is that?
You kind of gotta.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, should we get into this?
I don't know. On a scale of Caitlin scooting further into her seat, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 to 10 times, how many scoots are we on this one?
Maybe 1.
Okay.
Right. It might be a 1 scooter. I don't think you're gonna. Okay. I think you're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized just a few minutes ago that I'm understanding the biological responses that I've been describing, where I feel as though I'm being chased by a rabid bear. very specific type of anxiety response that I'm having. I think it may have something to do with the cortado that I consumed.
Oh, dude, that's a lot for you, I feel like.
And pretty quickly, I might add, because it's only 8 ounces. So
I totally looked and like thought about getting one on the way here. And I was like, I don't want to stop. Like I'm already late. So I didn't get one.
They're fucking delicious, first of all.
I probably should have because I'm a little hungover.
Oh, okay. Well, we can help you out with that.
But I'm drinking wine, so we're okay.
It's that hair of the dog. Saskatchewan.
It's Squatch wine.
Squatch wine.
The sighting.
The sighting.
Trees, very on brand.
Yeah. I mean, we literally have trees behind both of us, so.
So just right off the top here, we're going to establish that this is a private property that we're talking about.
Oh.
So Dick Road, don't be a dick and all that.
Yeah.
It's a private property. There's neighbors really close. Like,
okay.
I'm not telling you to go there. Honestly, I probably wouldn't go there. Just.
Yeah, sounds like that's not the move. Honestly, the little bit that I do know, it sounds like that's not a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm more scared of people than anything else, I think. And I just don't want to break any trespassing rules and get in trouble with the law.
With the law.
Yeah. So I will be staying away, but I'm going to tell you about it because it's really interesting. And there's a lot of weird rumors and things associated with the property. So I got to talk about it. Right?
I'm so excited.
In Damascus, Oregon, about 16 miles from Portland, lies a property shrouded in mystery and crime. Known as Oculus Anubis. And I really just like want to put an echo on that really bad.
Yeah, I mean, we have the technology.
We do. Oculus is Latin for eye.
For eyeballs.
I don't know if you noticed, I wore my eyeball shirt, which I have worn recently, but I obviously had to wear it today because eyeballs.
Of course, of course. And I don't really have an eyeball shirt, and I didn't know that I should, but I happened to wear this planet.
Yeah, you're picking
up
the moon,
on actually
circles. It's got other circles that look like eyes, you said earlier. So it works.
Houston, I am the problem.
I feel like we can relate anything to anything. We do tarot, so.
It me.
You are. It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I wore my eyeball shirt.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, though, this name, Oculus. We'll get back to it.
Okay.
And Anubis is the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife. He cared for, preserved, and protected the dead. He has the body of a man and the head of a jackal.
Also, listener of the pod.
Anubis.
Yeah.
Famously.
Of course, obviously.
I had to look up what a jackal was because, like, obviously I knew it was like kind of like a wild dog thing, but I never like specifically looked it up. They're so cute.
They're pretty cute.
They're so cute. They look like coyotes, like smaller coyotes with pointier, taller ears and like really cool fur patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I found a video the other day of somebody who rescued a tiny baby fox.
Aww.
They look like kittens when they're that young.
Little foxy.
They don't start to look like a fox right away. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, fuck. We adopted a fox.
Whoopsie. I mean, that would be amazing. Right. Yeah. A freaking fox.
Sorry, guess you live with me now.
Oh.
You're a cat.
I feel like a jackal is kind of like halfway between a fox and a coyote.
I like that.
It's similar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you can see in this photo, it is in a neighborhood.
It appears to be.
There are houses literally right next to the property. So they're really close. It's not like super secluded. Yeah. The property itself is private property and it's all gated off. So that part is secluded, but it's not like in a specifically secluded area. It's in like a neighborhood.
I mean, a neighborhood for Damascus.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to be there.
Yeah, it's big properties. It's not really close homes or anything, but there's homes. There's civilization. Like, yeah. So when you're pulling in, it's kind of like the opening to their long driveway is kind of like a cul-de-sac or like a turnaround.
Yes.
It's not technically a cul-de-sac because there's not like other houses on it.
Right.
It's just kind of like,
I mean, circular in shape.
Yeah. it's like the opening to their driveway.
Yeah.
So on either side of this opening to the cul-de-sac circular turnaround doohickey, there are 2 pyramids.
Yes, I see those.
They look kind of like, I don't know, maybe like boob height to us, maybe a little shorter. They don't look.
Depends on who we're talking about,
right?
But
us.
I'm gonna say probably if I go back to back with that pyramid.
Do you think it would be like your height?
It's hard to say without much for scale.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess. It might be at or give or take. Give or take like a dick.
They're not particularly big. They're not huge and they're not tiny. They're like,
listen, you can't talk like that when I've just said dick.
I know. I was hearing it as it was coming out of my mouth.
They're sensitive.
Ooh. But anyway, there's 2 pyramids and they used to have fire on top. I don't know if you can zoom in. You can see like little torches on the top.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so there's just like 2 torches on top. It used to have fire. I don't think it's running anymore.
Yeah, no, I think actually that's one thing that previously when I've looked at this, the pyrotechnics of it all. That's like the one thing that I heard is like, oh yeah, no, they shut that down.
Yeah, which is, I mean, understandable. Once we start getting into this property. So as you're going into past the pyramids, they have kind of a wall, like a stone wall. It's very mossy. There's a lot of ferns, green foliage.
It's pretty.
And then there is a big archway gate entrance.
That it is.
It's very big, it looks like.
It's very big.
It's got 2 lion statues on either side of it.
So basically it's like my calling card.
Right?
So.
I know. I wrote that later somewhere in here. Not those specific words, but we'll get to it.
Interesting.
And then the archway itself, it looks like it's also made from stone, but it's like black. I'm not sure if it's painted or if just the stone itself is like a black stone. I'm not really sure.
There is sort of like it's almost like an ombre effect. When you look at, it like darkens the further back you go.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the stone that makes up like the wall and stuff that the lions sit on looks normal, like gray stone.
Yeah.
And then once you get to this big archway, it's black. And then on the top of the archway is that same kind of like black stone. It's like a circular.
Yeah, like almost
circle.
like a medallion.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a medallion on top.
Huh.
And then on this circle that's on top of the archway.
Medallion, madame.
Circle, medallion, whatever. It kind of looks like a family crest almost. It's got like another lion like up on its haunches. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Like roaring up.
He's like standing up. He's on 2 legs.
Yeah. And then on the other side, there is a dragon figure doing the same thing. And in the middle, it literally looks like another lion. Like a kind of like a sun. It's another circle medallion shape.
I mean, also my calling card.
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe there's just a bunch of Leos living here. There's so many lions.
It's giving like very intense Leo energy. Like,
wow. So's your dog. Is she snoring?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Duh.
She's like, yeah, I'm basically the main star.
Yeah, she wishes. She doesn't even have a cam.
I know. We're working on it.
So the lion, this dragon figure, it has like wings and a tail. And
also, I'm Year of the Dragon.
Oh, this is all about Caitlin.
You guys.
No, so these things they're like copper and gold in color. And then on top of it, it's hard to see, but there's something else on top of the lion sun medallion. It's a crown, but that's black. So it's harder to see.
You're so right.
So I'm like, ooh. If this is a Leo, I mean, this is very Leo vibes. Like put a lion on it, put a crown on it.
Yas, queen. Wow. It's almost like a strangely worded invitation. Huh? You know what I mean? Like there's like it's like symbology of like, hey, come hang out here.
Oh, maybe
if this catches your vibe or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I was curious if this was like, if this meant anything. So I zoomed in on it and like Google photo, what's that called? Photo searched it? Image search?
Oh,
Google image search.
Image search.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So I Google image searched it and it does come up with like coat of arms, nothing specifically that's this specific type.
Oh, okay.
But just like the lion figure itself, I learned a lot about heraldry that I just didn't even know I needed to know.
Say again about herald?
Heraldry. It's
okay.
It's like the art of coat of arms.
Okay. Of like the family crest type dealios.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a family crest is actually part of a coat of arms.
Oh.
I know a lot. I didn't really include. It's not.
It's interesting though.
It is interesting. I went down a weird rabbit hole, but
I like it.
Yeah. I don't need to take you guys down there with me. But it does kind of seem like they just took like images and like maybe made their own. I didn't find anything that this specifically meant anything, but it could.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I tried Googling it.
I tried.
Also, the 2 lion statues, those are no longer there.
What?
Because dicks. Vandalizing.
Oh, nice.
One of them got stolen. Yeah, so they're unfortunately no longer there. And that's really sad to me because I'm like, those are like the gate protectors, you know?
Yeah. I was just thinking to myself, which would be more difficult? Stealing a stone lion or a real live lion?
I don't know, man. And these are like, they're like made of like brass or some kind of metal too. Like
they're quite sizable. Yeah. So it's no small feat.
Ridiculous. And I think one of them, like someone just like pushed it down. They're probably like kids, stupid, dicks. Dumb kids.
You guys, again, Dick Road, don't be a dick.
I know.
You know?
It's unfortunate.
You hate to see it.
But now when you look through, the gates are like iron or something. It's like a pretty pattern iron. Yeah. You can see through it. So when you look through, you can see down the road and the road starts to curve. And at the curve in the road, at the bend in the road, there is an Egyptian statue.
I was like, what is this? Because the picture that I have, I can't really, I was like, it's a statue. No idea what that is.
Okay. So this is, a lot of people would assume Anubis because the place is known as Oculus Anubis, right? This is very clearly not Anubis. This is...
Oh, obviously.
Very clearly. Because I have done the research. Well, actually, I do know what Anubis looks like. And I was like, just looking at it, I can tell this has like a lion face and Anubis, like we talked about, is a jackal. So I was like, well, this doesn't really look like him.
No, that makes sense. Okay.
But a lot of people do say that that's who that is in that statue, but it's not. It's the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet.
Okay.
Sekhmet has a woman's body and the head of a lioness.
Ew.
With a halo-esque sun disk on her head.
Okay, I'm glad you explained that because I was like, that's a hat?
Yeah, no, it's the sun, representative of the sun.
All right.
And that kind of makes sense because she was created from the fire of the sun god Ra. Ever heard of him?
No, not familiar. No. Has he done anything lately?
Not lately, I don't think.
Haven't seen him at the box office.
I mean, don't smite me, Ra. I don't know if he does that or not.
I feel like that's a uniquely Judeo-Christian type of a vibe. But
well, I don't know. The ancient Egypt gods they're not super nice, and we're gonna go into it right about now.
Excellent.
So she's also known as the Eye of Ra, which is a very powerful symbol of fury and violence, but also of protection and healing.
Okay. So 2 sides to that coin.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right.
Just like Sekhmet, who is known as the goddess of war and healing.
Okay. All right. Listen, people can be complicated.
Very complicated, especially gods and goddesses, you know?
Yeah.
They got a lot going on, okay?
I mean, situations are nuanced and it's a lot.
She was also the patron deity of physicians and healers.
Oh. Oh,
so that is very, put a pin in that, as Caitlin would like to say.
I don't like to say that at all.
You say it every episode.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't like that I do.
I love it.
If it makes anyone feel better, I don't like that that's what I say. But here we are.
I love it. And then I also love when you add it and it's just like so automatic, but you're like, wait, you don't need to pin that because I'm talking to you about it right now. No pins.
That's come up a few times before.
That's my favorite thing.
Take your pen out because here it is.
So why does everyone think that this entrance to this property looks so evil and even satanic? People think it's like evil and satanic.
All right. Because they're stuck in the 90s and
I guess I missed the memo of like when Egypt became like evil and satanic, like Egyptian imagery.
Yeah, I guess I missed the memo where I'm supposed to panic about Satanism also.
I know. What is a satanic panic? It's all weird to me and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Also, pyramids, like why are those bad?
Not really sure.
They're on our money.
Yeah.
I literally brought a dollar bill out because there's a pyramid on it. With an eyeball on top.
Yeah. I mean.
Oculus.
What is it? E pluribus unum?
I don't fucking know.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
What language is that?
It's Latin.
Oh. I should know. I know Oculus.
Yeah.
So I feel like eyes are like a strong theme in Egyptian culture too. It kind of feels like.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess there is kind of another theme here that people could consider evil, like fire, death gods, Anubis, he's a death god. People are scared of death, as we know, so they just label it all evil.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, they are.
What a bunch of plebes.
What? I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's kind of like saying like plebeian is like almost like peasant.
Oh,
okay. Just to put it in like the most like what a foolish concern.
Seriously, like we're all gonna end up there. Like, why are you gonna be so scared?
Yeah, because it's fucking scary.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to me that anything to do with like death, people like want to label evil.
Yeah, I do think that's like where it becomes sort of a misnomer. I guess, or
like they're not causing the death; they're just taking care of the dead. Like, don't you want someone to take care of you when you cross over?
Just saying, like, if you're gonna die, maybe you want that guy
to like, everyone will die.
Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to say
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Just trying to soften the blow. Okay.
No. They just rip off the Band-Aid.
Oof.
The death aid.
That whole wax strip. Right there at the
cooter.
Right there at the flap.
The flaps. So even like with the black stones, I feel like people look at the color black as evil as well.
As we all know, black is evil.
It's so infuriating because it's like my favorite color. It's the best color in the world. And it was a very fortunate color for Egyptians because it was the color of the rich soil that was left after the Nile would flood.
Yeah.
So to them, it symbolized fertility, new life, and resurrection.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Very fortunate.
Yeah.
Black is a great color.
Black and gold also.
Yeah.
Basically my wedding colors. Black, gold, and blush.
Your Oculus Anubis.
Basically.
Also with Sekhmet being a very powerful woman associated with war and violence, even sometimes referred to as the Mistress of Dread, the Mauler, or the Lady of Slaughter.
Oh my.
So I could see how people could turn something like that into something evil, even though she's also known for healing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that does imply, literally the word dread, I feel, like I could understand that creates a little bit of a sense of foreboding.
Just don't be on her bad side,
Yeah, that's right.
Do the good things in life.
That reminds me of like when I discovered that, I would be a doom witch. I was like, fuck yes.
Hell yeah. Embrace it.
Yes.
So I want to read you this fact from Sekhmet's good side. I think it's so much fun, and I'm such a cat person, so I just have to give you this fun fact from EgyptianMuseum.org.
Give it to me.
Quote, the ancient Egyptians believed that Sekhmet had the cure for every problem. In order to stay on her good side, they offered her food and drink, played music for her, and burned incense. They would whisper their prayers into the ears of cat mummies and offer them to Sekhmet. They believed that this was a direct connection to the deities and their prayers would be answered.
That's so cute.
They'd whisper into little kitty mummy ears.
I am a little bit sad about the cat mummies.
I mean, they died, and then they're preserved.
Not always how mummies happen.
We can just pretend that the cats all died of natural causes.
Yeah, we're just going to say that all mummies died of natural causes.
All mummies died of natural causes. And they were preserved very beautifully.
Yes.
We know there's some history there, but we're not here to go into all of that. But
yeah.
So she can breathe flames down upon you, but if you feed her and, give her some music, some nice atmosphere, she can solve all your problems.
Cassie,
what?
Like a dragon and a lion?
Yeah.
It's like cat-like and then very like mother of dragons. Like,
well, I was like, I feel like this is how all women should be.
Oh, are we not all?
Kind of. Just give us food and you'll be fine.
Feed me tacos and tell me that I'm pretty. Or fried chicken.
Yeah, fried chicken. Mm-hmm. There's also another interesting rumor about the property, and I don't really think if anyone knows if they're actually built. But the property does have permits for heated underground tunnels.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And people's minds just go wild with all of this. Like, why are there underground tunnels? What are they doing down there? And I think because the property is so secretive, people aren't really allowed to go on there because it's private property.
It's private property.
And because the gate, the statues are visible.
It's very intense.
So unique and intense. And honestly, I think it's stunning. I would love to have a gate like this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate that people make up all these crazy stories about it.
I know.
Because it's just such an easy, it's an easy target.
It's kind of low hanging fruit, but I don't know, try harder at life, you know?
Well, the rumors were fueled by, can you guess it?
Dicks.
Reddit. Close.
Oh,
close.
Yeah, it's different, but same, you know?
So there is a Reddit post saying that this person drove down the driveway to the house.
Okay.
And said that when they rolled up to the house, all of the windows were open, all of the blinds were open, all of the lights were on. And there was just a bunch of people standing in the windows, staring back at them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So now I am starting to get a little bit of an evil vibe.
Right.
That's nightmare fuel.
Does sound like it's very creepy. And they said that they were pretty much standing still for a long time, just staring at their car.
Horrific. It's the worst flash mob in history.
Just oh my God, a silent, still flash mob.
Well, that's how they are before they do the dance, They are all
I thought
a lot of times
are milling about and then start. But can you imagine if people are just milling about and then everyone all of a sudden just stops? Would you think that's a really good prank, honestly?
I hate that.
I want someone to do that to me.
I hate that. I hate that so much. Don't you fucking dare.
I would be the world is frozen. I can go rob a bank.
Okay. Well, we might have a thing or two to say about that. Okay. So here we are. We're at our first official scoot.
Oh, well, I might bring you down though.
Well, it's a half scoot technically.
I did say you get one good scoot.
At least one.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay.
People also say that if they do venture onto the property, they get chased out by like either cars or other people. They just, people come and find them and chase them off the property.
But not rabid bears?
I guess not.
Okay.
Rabid bears? So not that I know of.
That's good.
But I'm like, it's private property. It might seem normal for people to be chased off private property that they're on without the owner's permission. So I don't know. I don't feel like that matters.
It's probably not as sinister as it sounds.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
And too, I was thinking, if the story is true about the people in the windows, which it was on Reddit, on a known creepypasta-esque
well,
subreddit, whatever it's called. I don't even know.
I've come to understand that everything that is posted on Reddit is, of course, based in fact.
It's so factual.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
everyone's fact checking everyone and everything is fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like a real red string conspiracy theory territory, but please go on.
I am going on.
Okay.
My thought was maybe they were having a big party and everyone knew that everyone was at the party and there was no other arrivals. Oh. So they see this car coming down the private dark driveway. What are you going to do if you're not expecting someone who's coming in a car? You're going to look out the fucking windows, right?
True. Or what if like something else happened where all of a sudden everybody wants to like, okay, you're just like you heard a weird sound and one person goes, shh.
Right.
So you're all listening.
Mm-hmm. I imagine if that was true, something like that probably.
I feel, yeah. Okay.
And honestly, if you're on my private property, I might try to be creepy and stare you down from my window too.
Right?
Get the fuck out of here. I'm at a party. I don't want to chase you.
Oh my God. I might just stare you down if you come into my space at any particular time. Like, private property or not. Like, ugh.
Seriously, get out.
Too people-y.
Leave everyone alone.
Yeah.
There's also a rumor that the gate is unlocked on Halloween Eve.
Ooh.
Which is very spooky. But I'm like, are they trying to just like pass out candies?
Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve.
Does that mean the eve of like Halloween night
That's
or like
October
the day
30th,
before?
I feel like.
Did they mean
I'm
like
interpreting that as the day that I was conceived.
Right. Oh. Why are you thinking about that?
Because my due date was July 30th and I was born on the 29th. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe like part of me is feeling like it's calling to me. It's private property. So, I'm not going to do anything about it. But like,
yeah, because like typically we think of like Christmas Eve as like the day before. So yeah, that's October interesting. 30th. Like, why would it be unlocked? Obviously, this is a rumor too. I don't know for sure. Someone did say that they went and they were able to get in on Halloween Eve, but they didn't go too far. They got scared and left. Just, that happens.
I'm too much of a chicken shit. I'm not suggesting that I'm going to go.
Yeah,
I think everyone should be clear on that.
No, but if they were like passing out candy or something, like totally I would go.
I wonder if that's like maybe they're really into Halloween and they're like, anybody who deigns to like come down
the day before.
Well, they unlock it the day before so that it's good and ready. And it probably takes you until the 31st to walk your way down to the front door.
Or do they want to trap all the
That's what I was thinking too.
Children who try to come in the gate on Halloween Eve. Part of me thinks too, like, what if this is a typo and someone wrote like All Hallows Eve and they changed it to like Halloween Eve? I don't know.
That would be interesting.
I'm thinking too hard about this.
I don't think you can ever think too hard about anything.
You do using my hat rack here.
That's right.
So I did joke about like trapping the children, but people do accuse them of being human traffickers.
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah, because of like the tunnels and things. But
very Shanghai.
There's really people say there was like smoke and like other buildings like coming from the property that were shady looking. But those aren't pictures of this property. They're like completely something that somebody made up.
Okay.
So,
Also, how does one go about becoming or appearing as a shady building?
they were just
like spooky
weird
looking?
dome. I didn't take the photo. I didn't get it because it's like
you're like,
not
they're
actually
obviously not real.
Yeah, it was just like a weird set of like domed buildings, like little buildings. And I don't even know where the photo came from.
Wow.
It
And
just
domes, obviously, infamously shady.
evil and shady. They're hiding people in there.
Yeah. Listeners of the pod, but infamously shady.
I think it mostly comes from the tunnels.
Okay.
The fact that there's tunnels. And then there is some people who have gone onto the property, and I think they're photos of the property. I can't really quite be sure, you know?
You're like, I haven't been there, so it's kind of hard to fact check.
Who knows? I mean, it's like so many trees and things. It could be of anywhere, really. But I did link to it. If anyone's really curious, you can go through and look in my links for things. But so people have gone onto the property, and there's some other like statues. I think I saw like a statue of Ra he's got like a bird face, which does make sense because he's related to Sekhmet, right?
Yeah. It's unfortunate as faces go, but
bird face. He's like in a cage. Like it's not like set up. He's like still in his like enclosure. I don't know, from like when they transferred the statue, I'm thinking.
Interesting.
And then there's like some statues with like water in the base, and people say like, "Oh, look, you can see stairs leading down." And I'm like, you can't see anything.
You're like, you can? Is that
right.
so?
Yeah. I mean, even if there were, like, I don't know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And yeah.
But they think they like lead down to the tunnels and shit. And then there's also this one photo of, it looks like a bunch of like boulders and rocks, but the rock, it looks like a flat like doorway almost.
Ooh.
There's like, it doesn't look like there's really any way to open it or anything. I don't know if it's actually a doorway or if that's just like what it looked like when they were doing their landscaping. I really don't know.
Yeah. But so it's like a lot of yes-anding to get to the place that some people have. Yeah. They're working themselves up.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, you can see these things individually. You don't know what they were intended for.
Yeah.
Like you could just make it fit whatever human trafficking rumor that you would like.
Yeah. Maybe they're not trafficking people. Maybe they're trafficking drugs.
Maybe.
There you go. Let's start a new rumor.
Anything. No, let's not start any rumors.
I'm just saying it goes to sort of what you're saying about, you don't know what the intent is. And
right. Yeah. But also I'm like, wait, who hasn't said? I know we have. Like, we would love to get a property and like build houses on it and then like have them connect through tunnels.
That would be pretty cool.
And like have secret rooms and stuff. Can you imagine all the evil rumors they're going to have about us?
It's a cross I'm willing to bear. Believe it or not.
Just don't vandalize my shit, okay?
No. I mean, we'll have electric fences, so that won't be a problem.
Buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz.
Oh, they do say that they have like cameras all around the property too. I don't know if I mentioned.
I was going to say
Did I talk about that?
No, but I think that makes sense.
Yeah, people have said they've seen them like in the pyramids at the front and like in the trees and stuff.
Did they see that thing where it's like in Jason Bourne or, other, I don't know, whatever fucking movie where like the camera, like it turns its, turns its head like it's following you?
No.
Because the creep factor of that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I like that.
And people say when they just like come to the entrance too, they'll like be there for a couple minutes taking photos, and then all of a sudden someone will like drive up or come up and like tell them to leave.
Like, bye.
Yeah. Like basically chasing them off, just less dramatic.
Yeah. Chasing them off, but from behind a gate and asking politely.
Yeah. There was various stories about the chasing off. There was dramatic ones, there was less dramatic ones, but it's a theme for sure. So they could be watching you. Just be prepared.
No.
Don't go there. But
Oculus, they're probably watching you.
Eyeballs. Makes so much sense later. People also accuse them of being a cult.
I mean, I see how they get there. Maybe. I don't know.
Big property. Multiple houses being built on the property.
Tunnel.
Yeah, tunnels. all this Egyptian stuff. It's a thing. It's another one of those rumors that just, I feel like snowballs.
In general, I do think that when, white people co-opt a culture or religion that is foreign to them, that does feel very culty. So I get that.
Right. That is true. Like if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. You're just like, I made this up.
There was one, oh my God, this is so bad. There was one podcast I was listening to, and I'm not going to name it, and I didn't link it.
But you'll tell me later, right?
I don't know if I remember.
She's like, I don't even fucking care about them.
Yeah, so. I can probably try to find it real quick. But they said the entire town of Damascus was involved in the cult. No.
That seems like something. Bad. Yeah, like probably you don't have two nickels to rub together, I'm guessing. But that seems like, you might want to be a little bit more careful about the things that you say, because people can sue you.
Yeah.
For words that come out of your word hole.
Right. I just thought that was like one of the craziest like statements I'd ever heard, like trying to do research.
They have like a new initiative on their next ballot.
Oh my God.
And they're like, we want to basically take like X% of our city's revenue, and we want to use it to sue the living shit out of these ridiculous podcasters.
Yeah.
Not us.
Not
that
us.
other one.
Yeah. Hopefully you listen, because like I'm trying to clear this shit up. Okay. I'm trying to be one of the good guys.
That's just wild though.
Yeah. The entire town of Damascus is in this cult because of this one house that has a cool fancy gate. Like, it's crazy.
Listen, maybe that's accurate. Seems like a little bit of a reach to me. I'd like to see some receipts.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like also people just kind of like poop on the town, because it is one of the towns in Oregon that is not blue.
That nobody likes, basically.
It's one of the red sections of Oregon.
Yeah.
But they don't deserve to be accused of being in a cult, and unless
they are.
They're actually doing bad things, which I don't see any evidence.
Are you actually a cult?
Yeah. There is another reason though that people think that there's some sort of cult involved. This is where this is getting crazy. Okay. This is where the juicies are.
The juicy juice.
It's where the juicies are. There is a website. OculusAnubis.com.
Okay. Yeah.
The quote on the I think this is on like the first page of the website. It says, as a 501c3 nonprofit religious organization.
Did notice that.
Yeah. We are committed to our goal of reclaiming and preserving our sacred spaces, sustainably establishing a center focused on spiritual healing while actively combating trafficking, standing against racism involving the land. Does that make any sense to anybody?
I think I've latched on to some part of that I vaguely might have an idea of what they're saying. Unfortunately, they have gone about saying it in it's a Caesar word salad.
It is very word salady. Like, yeah. And very interesting too that they mention trafficking, because that's like one of the rumors. So that's very interesting. I feel like
that's where that comes from.
It might.
Yeah.
So
they're like, you know what they say they're against, but they're not.
Well, I hope not. Like, that's a really actually like scary thing.
It is. But I think that's where that comes from. I think that's how the rumor starts. Because they're like, oh, did you see that?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Because I don't know what was first, the rumors or the website. You know, I feel like the website came after.
Maybe. Okay.
And I'm sure I could go to the website and like see the year. I have a lot more from the website though. We're going to
sleuth it.
We're going to get into it. Well, okay. So there's more on this site. They have a press tab. And under the press tab is a post titled Community Healing that says, quote, Oculus Anubis is a religious nonprofit that is guided by healing, compassion, and inclusivity as we embark on our journey to acquire the future church property at blah, 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 blah in Damascus, Oregon. We want to address any misconceptions or concerns that may have surfaced due to the history mentioned in the blog post on articlecats.com titled The Myth of Oculus Anubis. How do you accuse your neighbor of running a cult?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I feel like this has a very similar vibe to Nancy Brophy writing a blog post about how to kill your husband and get away with it, you know? Yay. I'm so excited for me.
So I just thought this was really weird, the way that they write about this article, which is, again, titled The Myth of Oculus Anubis. Okay, so on the site, the Oculus Anubis site, the way that they write about this article is really weird. It sounds like this article created a bunch of these rumors. Is what that they make it sound like.
Okay.
But I read the article and it debunks all of the like common rumors and myths and like alleged photos of the property. That's where I found out that those photos that people were like circulating were not from the property.
Okay.
And in the end, it basically says the stories being spread about this place are just because it has a unique look. And the site like bashes this article, which is so weird to me.
They're like, we don't need your help.
Right. It's very odd.
Ooh.
I was literally so confused. And I feel like I just have to like read this to you.
Okay.
So they pulled this quote from the Mythbusters article. It's not Mythbusters. The Article Cat.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe.
Yeah. So the quote from Article Cat says, if you do a Google image search on the Temple of Oculus Anubis, you have everything you need to support the initial stories being spread. A fancy gate, an Egyptian-esque statue, strangely looking domes under pyramid frames. Those were like the fake pictures.
Okay.
And underground corridors. And it's talking about, these are all the things that are rumored.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Everything holds together at first glance until you delve into the diverse places from which all of these elements have been drawn. The domes were from California, it says. They had a picture of catacombs that were actually from Egypt. And they were like, these are the tunnels.
Oh, okay.
Other articles and stuff.
Yeah.
There was another picture they go into, and it goes on to say, the only part that's true, the very unexciting element that readers are left with, is that some eccentric private citizens have a fancy gate and a religious statue that connects to their heritage, beliefs, or spirituality. If the gate were adorned with more conventional iconography, is that the word?
Yeah.
Would anyone even think twice about it? Would websites spread rumors of a cult or accuse a family of trafficking then?
No. I mean, it's an obvious answer. Yeah.
This was their response on oculusanubis.com.
Shut up.
This notably incorrect statement from this frequently retweeted blog post states that there are no underground tunnels when there are not only permits to confirm this existence, which there are, you can see them.
Okay, so they're like, actually, bitch, you're wrong. We have tunnels, okay?
Yeah. But we also have multiple online accounts from explorers of said tunnels, the people who are making up all of the rumors, right?
Yeah.
What else about this post might be incorrect? So are you saying that they should spread the rumors and accuse the family of cult and trafficking?
I know. I'm like, okay, so do you want to specify? Because I feel like that's important at this point.
Like it's debunking this thing that is trying to debunk the bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, am I
no.
misreading this?
We are evil.
Like that's what it sounds like it's trying to say. Okay. And I don't think that they were even debunking like the tunnels. They were just saying the tunnels aren't, like the rumors about the tunnels are wrong. I don't think they were ever saying like there's no tunnel either. So I just like, I thought that was really odd. So a couple of things that I had quoted from the website in the beginning were like, we want to acquire this property.
Yeah.
Meaning whoever's running this website does not own this property.
Allegedly,
but you can Google who owns the property and it's not the same person that runs this website at all.
How can we be sure?
I mean, I guess it could be like a deep fake, but
I have so many questions.
The people who live there, they don't want people coming on. They chase them away. They don't want them there. So like, I don't think that they have anything to do with the website. Like, I don't think they want this kind of attention. Like, this was their private. Well, we'll go into who lives there. I guess we haven't really gotten there yet, but it was just supposed to be like a family's property, you know, like it's not.
Okay. So this
it's
isn't
not a religious organization.
Yeah. It doesn't appear to be some sort of, you know, shadow organization or LLC based in the Caymans.
I mean, not this one.
Okay.
So that's very interesting. So also under the press tab on this website, they kind of do bash the current residents, and they try to kind of expose some fraud that they do have evidence of, and they do link to the stories. I'm not really going to get into it because there's other stuff I need to get into.
Shit.
And that is someone who still lives on the property. So you're like, I don't know. I don't want to like go into all her shit. If you're curious, you can find it.
And I will.
But yeah, so the fraud is definitely a theme, which we're going to get to very shortly.
Ooh.
But there's clearly a dispute over the land. Like,
seems to be.
This one person thinks that they want it. There's other people actually living on it.
They're like, but we own it.
Right. Yeah. So
wow.
It gets messy. So the gossip and myths might turn out to be false, but there is some very real, true. Oh, so there's some very true crime. That's what I was trying to say, not real crime. But there is some very true crime surrounding the property. And I'm not going to use their names. I don't know if this is like a pussy move, like not using these people's names.
Not necessarily.
But I feel like it's not like murder. So I don't know.
I mean, and it depends on how pertinent their crimes are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like you have to just use your best judgment.
And the family still lives on the property. So I'm like, I don't know. You can easily find it if you want to, but I just I don't
do
need
think
to.
there is something to be said for like, this is publicly available. If you want that information, I'm going to make you work for it. Yeah. I feel like that's fair.
Visit the paste bin.
Yeah.
This is a story from the Oregonian published in 2017.
Oh.
There was a 41-year-old man sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison and ordered to pay $2.5 million in restitution for scamming health insurance and the Internal Revenue Service,
I mean,
aka
honestly,
the IRS.
Yeah, not a smart move in terms of the IRS, but like, you know,
don't do that, man.
Health insurance companies, like, probably not a smart idea, but fuck them. Fuck them.
Right. At this point. This was back.
No, pretty much always. The vibe is fuck them.
But still, like, you're going to get in trouble if you do that, right?
If they catch you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It sounds like they caught them because this man was sentenced.
He did get caught.
He claims he was, quote, acting as a servant for his manipulative, monstrous, and distorted father, end quote.
Okay. I assumed we were going to say wife.
No.
Okay.
Father.
Great.
At their eye care clinic in Gresham.
Fuck up.
Eyes, Oculus. It all makes sense.
Oh my God.
In 2015, the ophthalmologist, who I'll be referring to as Papa Oculus, he died at 80 before being charged with the crimes.
Oh.
But they sure charged his son.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Literally, he got time. He was ordered to pay the $2.5 million.
That is a bummer.
Although there were claims of abuse to his son and wife at the hands of Papa Oculus, the family used the ill-gotten money from the shell company called Oculus Inc. to live off of and start to build a 35,000 square foot house.
Wow.
35,000 square foot house. That's a mansion.
Not a house. That's a compound. A mansion is arguably like 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
That's a fucking compound.
Which kind of now, this also fed into some of the rumors.
Culty.
With its very own helipad, of course.
Also giving kind of a culty vibe. Not gonna lie.
And was to be connected to another home on the property by way of heated tunnel. So the tunnels are true. Like,
yeah.
Still, I don't know if they actually have been built. We just can see the permits.
We know the permits exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. Because actually the construction, that's a lengthy process.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, the house was never finished.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So people are talking about tunnels that more than likely...
unless they built the tunnels first before the house.
Well,
which
maybe. Actually...
You have to like...
Actually...
You can't build under, right?
Well, from like a seismology standpoint, it might... Seismologically? It might make more sense to do the tunnels first.
Maybe.
I doubt that's what they did. And they probably don't have tunnels running like under the complete footprint of the house, and depending on how deep they go. And I'm not a geologist or an architect or engineer.
But you know some stuff.
Yeah. But, I don't know. There's arguments that we could make.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought. I kind of hadn't really thought about that. Yeah. But I just airdropped you the Google image photo, and you can see the unfinished. You could basically just see like the foundation of the house and like beams, like exposed beams. Like it's unfinished.
I mean, knowing what I know, I can tell that that's what that is. That's
without even zooming in, because it's kind of big.
It is quite sizable, and that very... I know what rebar looks like.
Right.
I don't like to brag, but I know what that looks like. So
I was trying to see if it would give like a date on when the map was taken.
It probably doesn't on your screenshot, but Google image typically does.
Okay, Caitlin web sleuthed around, and she thinks that the Google images are current. So we don't think the house has been built ever. Still exposed. Probably getting very damaged.
Yeah. That rebar, I'm surprised that
Rusty?
It doesn't. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm surprised that it looks like the color of cement, essentially, because they were at some stage of the foundation.
Yeah. I wonder what it looks like close up.
Yeah.
Ooh. So we're going to go on and keep talking about this family who was involved in this fraud.
Oh, right. There were people. We're not just talking about rebar.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So the son, who I referred to here as spawn of Oculus, spawn of Papa Oculus, his defense was that Papa O was a lot different behind closed doors than what the community saw of him and knew of him. But there was allegations of abuse to the son and wife, and he was dead, so it's not like he can defend himself. I really don't know what's true and what's not. This is from the son's perspective. He also apologized in court and claimed that because of his traumatic upbringing and his autism spectrum disorder, that he didn't understand what he was doing was wrong until his team of lawyers helped him understand.
Wow, that's really interesting. A lot of people trying to use an autism spectrum disorder to defend their behavior of late.
Yeah. And I mean, the judge obviously disagreed because they found him, he did plead guilty as well. So he was like, yeah, I'm guilty, but so he wasn't really trying to get out of it. Right. He was just,
here's sort of an explanation, which
I don't know if you're really traumatized, you work for your dad who traumatized you. And I'm not saying that like, because you're autistic, you don't know like right from wrong. I really don't know that side of it, but I could see how you would just be like, just do whatever he says.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
My understanding of autism spectrum disorders is that you have a very defined sense of justice.
Right. That's kind of what I thought.
So,
but like, who makes the rules? Whose rules are you trained to follow? You know?
That trauma or abuse, alleged, or, maybe that changes your perception of what that looks like, what justice
maybe
looks like.
He did also ask for help in like his future like career endeavors, like help and guidance. So I don't.
So maybe there are some good signs of.
I hope he's doing better.
Okay.
You know, I really don't know. I didn't look into what he's doing now or where he's at. Because it wasn't where he's at is not involved, but we do know some other things about some of the other family members.
I'm so excited.
So the actual current owner, when you Google the property, is the son's spawn of Oculus. It's his wife or ex-wife. I'm not really sure. I didn't really dig down that path to see if they actually got divorced because I feel like that's probably in the records, but I don't know where to look in things.
I'm sure some sort of court filing that can confirm that if that's the case.
Yeah, but I feel like I didn't need to like go do that.
We don't care.
She still has his last name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that who knows?
Yeah.
People keep their name, people don't.
Yep.
There has also been some dispute between her and Papa O's wife.
Oh.
So the wife of, or the mom of, mother-in-law. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say.
I was getting, well,
like, what is this?
So the thing that this reminds me of is, do you remember that movie that J-Lo did where it's
Monster-in-Law?
Monster-in-Law.
Well, it might be the reverse. Yeah. So apparently from there's a ton of YouTube videos and stuff on the property. There's actually some people who went on the property to move the lion statues for the Mama O. We'll just call her Mama O because I'm not using names.
Yeah.
And they actually got chased off by the daughter-in-law. So from what everyone says, they think there's kind of a dispute about the land. So the daughter-in-law actually owns it, but the Mama O lives there. And I think they're like fighting over the land.
That's very interesting.
Right. And there's like, I couldn't find records of like who actually lives on the property, you know?
Oh, we could find you
probably can't. Like, but I don't know if she doesn't own the property. So I don't know if she officially lives there.
Some of those things can be a little bit murky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I've gone down so many rabbit holes. Like, I feel like we don't need to know who is on the property, just that there is people living there. I feel like. So.
Okay. Yeah. It seems that's fair to say. Okay.
And then potentially, so this like third other person with their religious organization. So there's like potentially 3 people like fighting over this land.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Actually, this reminds me of something that Chris and I watched recently. And it's, I haven't done a lot of fact checking yet to see like how factually based it is, but it's based in Utah. Oh. And it's during the time where people were moving westward.
Oh, okay.
And essentially the United States government, such as it was, the Mormons, and the native or indigenous population, all of them were at war to varying degrees with each other. So interesting. And that's the vibe.
That's what this feels like. Like a triangle.
Yes.
A pyramid. A property, like instead of like a love triangle, it's like a property triangle.
Yeah. Property brothers, property triangle. This is so interesting though. And there is so much that it's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of it would take digging and you could still be really uncertain about.
Right.
Because what's publicly reported versus like, I mean, things can change and there can be new filings and there can be things that are misrepresented.
Yeah.
Even in official like public documents. And
there is like a neighboring property too that the daughter-in-law owns. And it's like a house, like just like a house. So I don't know if she lives in that house or rents it out or.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is you can own a property and not live there.
Right. Yeah.
Ever heard of Airbnb?
Interesting. It's all just like juicy stuff, I feel like. I also did find out that Mama O is of Egyptian descent. So.
Okay, so that makes it a lot less weird that
when you find that out, it's like, of course they're gonna, if they have all this money, they're gonna
it's like a celebration of her culture and heritage.
Yeah.
So everybody else is just dicks.
Exactly. I know. When I found that, I was like, well, duh. Like, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I don't think there is a website that kind of like figured out there is a blog post or article that kind of did like a ton of internet digging and figured out who was running the Oculus Anubis website, the church website.
Okay. I wondered.
She doesn't look Egyptian to me. I mean, I don't know. But I'm like, who are these other people who are trying to like run this religion that's like it's not yours. Like you're stealing this like religion.
That is so
and like
interesting.
making it, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of making it their own. I don't know. They don't say what
like
their religion
maybe they're
is.
Appropriating.
Yes. Sounds like to me. Anyway,
Yeah,
so I thought that was pretty interesting. That some white girl is coming in and trying to take this property from an Egyptian woman who decorated it with her
own
ancestral art.
Wow.
Come on. It's just gross.
You know how people suck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a donate tab on that site. Just like I would say not to donate.
Probably not. I'm going to not.
Unless you're very sure what something is about and what they're doing with the money. And yeah, I don't know. Like are they taking donations to be able to buy the property? Like, God.
Which is like, is it for sale?
Like, not that I know.
Like, oh.
Yeah. So kind of moral of the story. Oh, there's one more thing.
Okay.
I don't know who started calling it Oculus Anubis.
Oh.
Like, I feel like people, I don't know if the owners, if that family who lived there, if that's what they called their property, but I kind of just feel like people saw like the Oculus name from the shell company, the Oculus Inc.
Yes.
And then like there's so many statues, like Egyptian statues, and people were like confusing that one big statue in the front for Anubis. Like, did they just make up this name?
See, to me, that reads as, especially knowing, like, I'm just not as familiar with some of that iconography. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what Jackal looks like. Really? You know? I think that seems totally plausible. I feel like this is not even of their own making. I feel like this is like a third party that's just like Oculus Anubis OVS.
And then some other lady just made a church out of it. Like it's odd. And I did kind of like look through all, because I found that where Oculus came from, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. And I was like expecting them to say like that's what they called their property, and I didn't find anything like that.
To confirm that.
Yeah, no confirmations on where the Anubis part of the name actually came from, or if people were just like evil death god Oculus Anubis. It's also interesting too because like there's like the Eye of Ra and the Eye of some other guy. It starts with an H. I can't remember what it is. Horus or something.
Horus.
So I'm like, why wouldn't they pick one of those? Because it's like the eye, but they like made it Eye of Anubis, which like isn't really a thing. I don't know. It's interesting.
That's interesting.
It just seems like someone who doesn't know a lot about Egypt,
right?
Just making up shit.
It's the first one they thought of, and they mashed it together.
Yeah, exactly.
And they probably have all of the best words.
So many words.
Yeah.
Kind of moral of the story is though, there might be some actual juicy stuff here, some real true juicy stuff, along with all the made up juicy stuff. But that still doesn't mean you have the right to be disrespectful to the property just because, you know, someone associated who used to live there got convicted of a crime, like doesn't give you the right to go and gawk at it or be noisy and disrespectful to everyone and all the other neighbors. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Honestly, if you look into it, probably that's the case with a lot more properties than people realize.
Yeah.
So
like it reminds me too of like the Hell House, like this house that just happened to have like terrible things happen in it. And then people just like going crazy over it. Well, the address thing also didn't help, but like the numbers, but
that was, yeah. No, it's interesting because I feel like now we were just talking about this off mic before we started recording that like we're getting close to 200 episodes. And I feel like now there are so many times where as we're talking about it, whatever the episode is about, whatever the topic is, that it's like you see so many parallels to other things that we've covered in an episode.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I'm like, okay, well, like how many of our past episodes can we talk about? And it feels a little almost self-indulgent, but I'm like, no, it's just so interesting to see where, I don't know, it kind of takes me back, like, God, what is the quote? It's sort of like those who don't understand or learn history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of just like you see these same principles come up time and time again in like certain.
We do. We do that with like all the episodes, I feel like.
Yeah.
We're like, this reminds us of that. And it's like really impressive that we can actually recall what we've done in the past 200 episodes.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel like it doesn't say anything spectacular about my memory per se. I think it's more about the pattern recognition.
Yeah. That's memory. It counts.
Kind of. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, I just want to leave you with one part of a comment that was on one of these YouTube videos that I found about the property.
All right.
This person's comment says, quote, "This is a great lesson in the damaging ripple effect of gossip and rumors. That property is gorgeous. Eccentricities doesn't equal devil worship or cults."
Holy shit.
Mic drop.
Okay, so this is really crazy, but the damaging impact of rumors. Holy fucking shit.
Is that a theme and like something you're talking about?
Literally the episode that I'm doing next.
Oh my gosh.
It is a huge. It's huge. Huge component of my next app.
Interesting. Wow. We were just picking up all the vibes. We always do. Let's do some tarot for this bitch.
I think we should. Yeah.
Papa. Oh.
My
R.I.P. I don't know if you were a good dude or not. R.I.P. Papa. Oh. I'm not going to be the most respectful because I don't know. I believe it.
A man who was 80 years old in the mid-aughts. I'm going to go out on a limb and say questionable human.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I was like, he passed from a stroke too. So it wasn't like.
Yeah, it could be all the evil.
Yeah. And I pulled the High Priestess, which is number 2 in the major arcana, like 2 lions at your gates.
Big cats.
It's interesting too. We did get like the High Priestess. Well, I want to look at the I want them. God, I can't fucking talk.
Talking's hard.
I hope they describe the traditional card because I feel like there's some Egyptian imagery on some of the cards, and I feel like this might be one of them, but I can't quite remember.
She does kind of have a Cleo vibe here.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Our keywords are intuition, emotions, feminine power, imagination, spirituality.
Okay, perfect.
The inner life.
The inner life. That's kind of just like so interesting because they're like secretive and like introverts.
Yeah. So introverted that they might have tunnels.
Yeah. Oh, and what's inside those tunnels?
Don't know.
That's cool.
This beautiful and enigmatic card symbolizes feminine spiritual power, or the goddess from whom all life comes and to whom it all returns. That's that duality.
Oh, yeah.
Some decks show her as a serene female figure seated with a book or scroll on her lap to indicate wisdom. Other decks depict her gazing into the distance at something yet to be revealed.
Ooh, what's going to be revealed?
Don't know.
It reminds me too of like at the gate, gazing into the distance at the statue of Sekhmet.
Bro. She's sometimes positioned between two pillars, one black, one white.
Okay.
I'm just saying the pillars, it's really interesting. And then it keeps going.
It is interesting because there are photos supposedly of the house where there's like pillars and it looks like a
I'm
base.
saying even at the gate.
Right.
It's maybe not pillars in the most traditional sense. The iconography matches up for me.
But there are pillars.
There are pillars.
I don't know if I have that photo or not.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. So 2 pillars, one black, one white, which represent the dual nature of existence, good and evil, light and dark, truth and deception, positive and negative.
Wow. We talked so much about that.
We did.
Interesting, like the black coloring came up too. And that's like one of the things I talked about too.
This is interesting. Okay, I'm going to read the extra excerpt.
Okay.
We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return, like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. Because I just feel like this had so much to do with like iconography related to life and death.
It definitely did.
I don't know. Yeah.
The gate doesn't look as black here as it does in some of the other photos. But
yeah, that's interesting. But that does kind of look like pillars.
Yeah. And I forgot there was like the 2 torches that are on the side too. And they're lit in this photo.
Wow.
And the road is like lined with pink flowers.
Mm-hmm. They're like almost red.
And the statue. I didn't really mention the statue is like white.
Yeah. Black and white.
So we have that black and white. Very interesting.
Black, white, and gold.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So we did draw this upright, correct? Okay. The high priestess may advise paying attention to your inner world, dreams, imagination, and intuition, especially if you tend to be a logical, practical person. Look more deeply at your hidden talents and motivations, face your shadow, and reconcile your inner life with your outer one.
That reminds me of the sun.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah.
Upright, the high priestess suggests inner changes are taking place even if they haven't materialized yet. Something hidden is about to come forth.
Oh,
that freaked me out a little bit.
I wonder, like, I want something to come out about the property, but I want it to be like good. Like, I want them to finish it and like make it pretty, not the religious way, not like what that person wants to do to it. But
yeah, I feel like I'm not feeling that.
I feel like they could just like, they could do tours and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
But I mean, that's such a massive property and build, and
is.
it would take a lot of money to do. So,
I mean, one would imagine.
God, just start charging people to tour. I'll freaking give you $20 to come take a tour of the land.
Right?
$20.
This is interesting. Okay, so there's another extra excerpt before our bulleted interpretations. The shadow, psychologist Carl G. Jung thought the high priestess symbolized the shadow, the unknown, secret, dark, and mysterious part that lies within each of us.
Pretty sure I used all of those words describing this place.
Yeah, I think so.
But also like the secrets of the doctor who is doing all the fraud, the ophthalmologist, and maybe possibly abusing his family behind closed doors. Like, that's really reminiscent of that too.
There's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of ways you can kind of tie that. This next part, holy fucking shit. Okay. In a reading about money, you may be too otherworldly or impractical in financial areas. Perhaps you need to get a handle on spending.
Yeah, you try to spend like $3 million building stolen money, building a giant mansion. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe this card's for you. The High Priestess can also advise listening to your intuition in an issue involving money. If the reading is about your job, this card recommends tuning into the invisible world, which is really interesting when we're talking about someone who has an occupation specifically related to the visible.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of your inner knowing and the spiritual guidance available to you. I'm getting such culty vibes.
Yeah, I kind of am too. Which totally fits. Not that they have a cult, but like there's cult themes, you know?
I mean, it's tied to it, whether that's intentional on the part of the owner or anyone who's actually affiliated with the property or not.
Yeah, it's like forever going to be.
It's like kind of tainted in a way. Okay. It can also mean working in a field that uses your inner power, intuition, and wisdom, such as psychology, holistic healing, or a spiritual path.
Okay.
This kind of triggered in me. I would like to know, as an MD, I would think your license probably, there's a fair chance it might be suspended based on some of these bad acts. And I wonder, for someone in his position, different kind of doctor, not a traditional MD, but is he still licensed?
Well, he's dead.
No, I mean the son.
Oh, the son? I'm not sure if he was actually a doctor, or I think he just worked there.
He worked there, but it may have been in a different capacity.
Yeah, I think he did like paperwork, like probably filed all of the insurance claims and stuff.
Oh, could be.
I don't know 100%, but that's like the vibe I got. I don't think he was an eye doctor.
Okay.
But yeah, I would imagine that his like license would be taken.
I would think. Not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay. In a reading about love, the High Priestess may describe a person who's intuitive, spiritual, in touch with the higher realms of existence.
Just is reminding me of the word salad website.
A little bit, yeah. She can also represent a very romantic relationship that may not be well grounded in reality. That almost makes me think of the person who started the website. It's like she's in a relationship with this property that's not real.
Yeah, literally.
She's being catfished by her own imagination about the property.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I think it's a thing.
Will you read that last line one more time?
She can also represent a very romantic relationship that may not be well grounded in reality.
It reminds me too of just like all the rumors and the people, especially like the high school kids are like romanticizing this property that's got a cult on it.
Yeah. And that's an interesting way to interpret that.
Oh, thank you.
No, I think, wow. Yeah. But I feel like that it's not a word that we necessarily would readily associate, but how things become like romanticized is actually a more appropriate word than it seems like on the surface.
Yeah.
Because it is taking something that may or may not be true and really interpreting it just in such a, I don't know, a twisted way.
Yeah.
Romanticized actually feels so much more appropriate to me than I would have thought.
I think so too. And especially if you're into spooky stuff too, you could be like really romanticizing it. Like, yeah, we're going to go on this property. It's going to be so spooky. All this weird shit goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting.
Was that it?
That's it.
Does it have a picture of the original card on it?
It does, yeah. I'll pass.
Actually, okay. I was like, maybe I want to see one in color, but
I can picture it.
What is it? Does it say what the B and the J mean? Like, I love how it just says BJ on it.
I know. That's interesting. I feel like I knew that at some point, and
I feel like we have looked it up. We've come across it before, but I can't quite.
Well, I mean, we're 14-year-old boys So
BJ.
Okay. And I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Interesting. This is, I think, of an East Asian culture, which is sort of an interesting parallel, potentially. Okay. So on both sides of the high priestess, there are two big pillars. One is black with the letter B for Boaz.
Okay.
Which means in his strength.
Oh.
Which the way that's worded makes me think of under his eye.
Oh.
Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
And also parallel to an eyeball. That, I mean,
Okay.
Okay. The other is white with the letter J for, I'm going to say Jakin, which means he will establish.
Okay.
Those are ominous.
Wow.
The black and white pillars show opposites, similar to male and female, dark and light. It's that duality.
I love that.
That's interesting.
That was an interesting little extra lookup.
Yeah.
I like that. I also had, I think, one more thought about.
Okay.
Oh, so the high priestess is like a feminine card, right? And then there's like three women fighting over this land.
Seemingly.
And like the men are just all gone. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they are, but in all the stories, it's really just about like three women.
Yeah. I mean, they appear and then sort of become absent from the story. Whether or not that's truly the case is sort of, I guess, up for debate. But
feminine energy for sure. That was great.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think I have anything else to say.
No, I know. That was just, that just felt so on point and kind of seamless.
Yeah.
Feels like we've been a little bit, it's been a rocky road recently.
Not the ice cream.
No, I would never eat that. Disgusting. But no, it's just so strange because I felt like maybe our like vibes wouldn't be so on point. I don't know. Like I felt like we'd be more rusty.
I mean, we were kind of rusty. It's been a minute.
Yeah. No, but I just feel like it all felt like it made sense to me. I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah. Should we do that other thing we do?
Let's do it.
I don't want to forget.
Have a creepy ass day. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Unless you're lost in the tunnels of Oculus Anubis.
Under his eye.
I don't want to be under any dude's eye. I'm
not
just
about
saying.
that.